as well as their attorneys, Dana Nessel and Carol Stanier. So we are going to go ahead and toss to that right now so you can hear from the plaintiffs themselves on this win, okay?
How about way back there? All right. How about somebody all the way down that way? All right. It's a press conference, really. You guys good? All right. Very good. I'd like to introduce Dana Nessel. I want some applause.
On the way over.
Okay, I was just kidding. About 2 minutes.
To get back on here and show you a little bit more of what was going on. So, false alarm, Dana's not speaking just yet, but we expect her any moment. I do have some, if you'd like to see a little bit of April and Jayne right after the announcement was made, we've got that for you.
Oh. Yeah, I think I'm guessing it's going to be 7 minutes. Maybe longer.
April and Jayne DeBoer Rowse, of course, the parents of 4 children now and likely to adopt a 5th that they've been fostering. So their family has grown as this case has taken years to get to this point. We were all there at the Supreme Court in April and now here for this decision day. We are waiting, April and Jayne, for their reaction here in a press conference, as well as their attorneys. They've had an incredible legal team that has worked tirelessly and has not been paid for this effort, but all of them felt so strongly about it. And as you know, this really started out as an adoption case all about April and Jayne's kids and the fact that they had gotten these kids together, but they couldn't jointly adopt them, and that concerned them. What if something happened to one of them and they did not have any rights to their child? So this was a very, very important struggle. It was Judge Bernard Friedman who courageously encouraged them to actually fight the same-sex marriage ban here in Michigan that was voted into law in 2004. So they did actually take him up on that challenge, which was a very big one, and he ruled in favor of the plaintiffs. It was the Sixth Circuit Court of Appeals, as you'll recall, that actually overturned that ruling. And so when that happened, this was bound for the Supreme Court, and now we know their answer. It's Sherry. That's a very good question. I don't know that they were prepared to move to another state. You know, their jobs are here. They're nurses. They have a family here. April's mother is a huge part of their lives. Wendy DeBoer, who is just the best grandma around. And so just to pick up your life and leave, you know, I don't know how much of an option that really was for them, but they really, really wanted to be able to adopt their kids jointly. They wanted to be able to get married. And so I'm not sure what they were prepared to do if the decision had gone the other way. I know just in speaking with a lot of other gay couples, there was a lot of talk about just getting out of Michigan because the perception was that it's just getting more and more backward. So certainly this is welcome news for so many couples who heretofore had felt like second-class citizens. There's a gentleman walking around here, Carl, who is from the Jackson LGBT Center, and I wish I could find him, but he has a shirt on that says, "I'm not a second-class citizen." And looks like right now, here they come. So back to you.
Oh, we got to say them this one? All right. Yeah.
Work on all of it.
All right. Before I do anything else, I want to do this. Thank you to the Supreme Court and Justice Kennedy. Without further ado, I know that you all want to hear from April and Jayne. So, April DeBoer and Jayne Rowse.
I don't even know really what to say right now. It's been a long, hard road. It's been 4.5 years in the making that we're looking for protection for our children, and today it came in the form of a marriage equality decision by the Supreme Court of the United States of America. We would not be here if it weren't for many people, and first and foremost our attorneys, Dana Nessel, Ken Vogel. I'm sorry, it's one of those days.
Not a problem.
Ken Vogel, Bob Sadler, and Carol Stanier. And unfortunately, or fortunately, Mary Bonato, who is in Washington, D.C. Currently. So she also played a role in getting us here today. And I want to thank my family who have supported me through all of this, and my beautiful soon-to-be wife. There's also the wonderful people who are standing behind us, who have supported us, the National Marriage Challenge. I think Hobo for the Cause is behind us somewhere as well. Without them and all of these people and their hard work, we would have never made it to the Supreme Court, so I want to thank you guys as well. My last comment is to my beautiful children, we did this for you. Thank you.
Well, y'all know I can't top that, so again, thanks to the Supreme Court, everybody who is affected by this. I am truly honored to be one of the people in this case to bring this home. And not only to Michigan, but to all the United States. I know None of us ever thought this day would come, at least not in our lifetime. I know I certainly didn't. I'm pretty sure Carol didn't. Dana didn't. I don't think Bob and Ken even thought about it. But again, we want to thank Ken, Bob, Dana, Carol, Mary for all their support, all the National Marriage Challenge people, everyone out there who has helped us, supported us, Jim Toy Center, Linda, Sandy. Thank you so much. To you. Thank you for standing by me all this time.
As usual, hard to follow. This is pretty great. Very great. I'm so proud of our team, and I would like to acknowledge all of them right now. We've spent 4 years together. Dana Nessel started all of this. She has been doing this for many, many years. She was working for same-sex couple families long before we filed this lawsuit. She is relentless. She never quits. She never lets anyone else quit. She deserves a lot of thanks. April and Jayne, so strong, amazing, so stable. Grace under pressure, they're just amazing. They make it look easy, and I can assure you that no part of this has been easy for them and for any of us. Professor Sedler, he gave us the courage to file this lawsuit, to believe that we could do it, and he showed us the path forward, and he was right about everything that mattered. Ken Mogill, my dear friend of decades, I asked him for help. He rolled up his sleeves and never stopped helping us. His contribution was amazing. He's the hardest worker I know, the hardest working lawyer that I know. Thank you, Ken. Mary Bonato is in Washington right now, but every time we asked her for help, she was there, and I thank her as well. The National Marriage Challenge, we could not have done it without these people behind us. There are so many others. Our law clerks, Abby Klauman, I don't know if she's here, Wyatt. Hi, Abby. Wyatt Four, Stephanie Augustiniak, so many others. In the end, we were an army, private citizens, grassroots, good people trying to do the right thing. And finally, I am tremendously proud of the legal system today. I am so proud of Judge Friedman, who ordered a trial. I'm so proud. I'm proud of Judge Daughtry, who wrote that valiant dissent. I am proud of the five justices who authored the majority opinion in this case, for resolving an issue of enormous importance in our society. They did it methodically, they did it carefully, and they waited for America to be ready. And America is ready now. This was a definitive statement under equal protection, fundamental right, liberty, due process. It was for now, and it's for future generations. The bans are unconstitutional. States cannot treat people this way. They cannot treat people unequally. Same-sex couples, their families, their children have to be treated with dignity and respect. Thank you very much.
That's great, Ken. Thank you. For me, this is very personal as well as professional. My wife, Roseanne, and I have been married for 55 years. Our two children are married. We think marriage is a wonderful institution. We want it for everybody. Today is a historic decision. I'm old enough to remember the Brown decision in 1954 when I was in college, and Loving versus Virginia in 1967. By that time I was a lawyer, and the court held that interracial couples had a right to marry. The same prejudice and the same discrimination that we have seen against same-sex couples existed at that time in many parts of the country against interracial couples. The Supreme Court held that was unconstitutional. Today, it has held that discrimination against same-sex couples with respect to the fundamental right of marriage is unconstitutional. Let us never forget that. Professionally, I did write a law review article in the Wayne Law Review in 1994, and Dana came to me and said, I said, it's unconstitutional then, it's unconstitutional now. Today is a great victory for equality, and the lawyers and the plaintiffs and their supporters, everyone struggled for this. This was not a case done by an organization with great resources. It was Dana and Carol and Ken and all their supporters and our two wonderful plaintiffs who carried it forward. Thank you so very much.
There are very few times in life when, after anticipating what's going to happen and when the event finally occurs, that you realize that it was impossible to know what either the joy or the pain was going to be. And this is one of those occasions. We've anticipated success, but the feeling that we've all got today, there's no way to describe it, to have anticipated it. Everybody working together has moved a mountain. How does it feel to have been part of moving a mountain? Lawyers don't win cases by themselves. In fact, lawyers play a lesser role than the grassroots. And this movement succeeded because of everything that each of you and people who are celebrating all around the country today have done in small acts and medium acts, and in being open about who you are, and all the impact of all that, grain by grain, moved a mountain, and that's amazing. And the law books are going to say that this was 5-4. But in a very real sense, we won this case by tens of millions of votes. I want to echo what Carol said about thanking Judge Friedman. Judge Friedman said, okay, let's have a trial. Show us what you got. And we showed the justice of our side, and we exposed the absolute absurdity of the arguments against it. The last thing I want to say, throughout this case, well, besides thanking our team, I mean, it should be obvious. We've been together a long time. It's been awesome almost all the time. You can't get lawyers together for an extended period of time without having some disagreements. But April and Jayne's courage, and which is also exemplary of the courage of so many other people, it's so enormous and so important. And it's just been the honor of a lifetime to be one of your lawyers.
Thank you.
Throughout this case, I've been thinking about, I keep coming back to a quote from Martin Luther King that means a lot to me, that the arc of the moral universe is long, but it bends toward justice. And today, we can say that that arc is a rainbow.
You're never going to top that awesome line, Ken. Kudos to you for that. Okay, so I'm going to speak a little longer. Forgive me if this sounds like a speech you would give when you win an Academy Award, but this is the closest I'm ever going to get to that. So you'll have to bear with me until the music plays me off. Firstly, obviously, we're so thrilled. We're so excited for the decision here today. And as everyone has said, and I think anybody who's followed this case knows, we never could have in a million years anticipated that this case would go where it ended up going, that this case would become a marriage case at all, let alone the seminal marriage case on marriage equality throughout the United States. But obviously, throughout all the heartache and hardships that occurred, we're so happy that it happened the way that it did. Would like to echo what my co-counsel have said about thanking April and Jayne. Such an incredible couple. Ordinary people who are all at once also extraordinary, and who could not have represented this case or this cause with any more dignity, but any more humor, really, than anyone else that I know. And they were just such champs throughout all of this. So much was asked of them. And, I think typically when a lot of these cases, when these cases go forward, a lot of times you have people who are, selected by organizations, and there's a whole process that you go through. April and Jayne literally called my office up one day and just said, "Can you draw a will up for us?" I mean, literally. And, and here 4.5 years later, I mean, it's just been an amazing journey. I so much want to thank all of my co-counsel on this. Such amazing, amazing attorneys. When you go to law school and you think, wow, one day I hope to do something noble and something that's good for the world, I think most people don't necessarily expect that they'll see this on their plate at some point. But I have to say that none of this would have been possible without these incredible people. Carol, thank you so much for when I begged you to come forward and to handle this matter. And I knew that Carol was so brilliant, such a great writer, such an amazing appellate attorney, and an amazing trial attorney. And her reputation really preceded her. I am so thrilled that you agreed to do this, and throughout all the struggles that you moved forward on it and really quarterbacked our team, and just all the sacrifices that Carol Stanier made to do this. She just deserves a separate round of applause all by herself, for sure. And most of you probably know the story now, how when we were facing some obstacles and weren't certain whether we could go forward on the case or not, I went and called up my old law school professor from Wayne State University Law School, Bob Sedler, and told him about the case that we were anticipating filing. And his words to me were, "I don't remember you from a hole in the wall, but I care about this issue and I'm going to help you." And he has done everything in his power. He is an 80-year-old that is actually 4 20-year-olds all bottled up in one. I've never seen anything like it before. In terms of his energy and his dedication to justice, this issue and all issues, he's an amazing man. And it has been such an honor and a privilege to be able to work with him throughout the past several years. Bob, you are an amazing model for everyone, and everyone should get an opportunity to sit in one of his classes. He's an incredible guy. Thank you, Bob. And Ken Mogul, thank you so much for coming in. Ken is, again, somebody that if you talk to people in the legal community, Ken's name will come up over and over again in terms of someone who knows more about the law and had such an amazing ability to take issues and to analyze them and to write about them. And he was so incredible throughout this process. And obviously, we could never have done this without all of these people. So thank you so much, Ken, for joining all of us and for seeing this through all the way to the end, and for lending your name and your work to all of this. And of course to Mary Bonato, who was so helpful to us along the course of the way, and who ultimately argued the case not just on behalf of our case, but on behalf of all the cases. So we thank her very much for all her work and her dedication over many, many years to the issue of LGBT rights and marriage equality, wherever you are in Washington, D.C., Mary. Thank you so much. next I want to thank the National Marriage Challenge, who are really the most incredible group of people that I have ever had the opportunity to meet in my lifetime. They're the people that you see behind us here. As was noted earlier, you know, we were a case we're not an organization. We had no idea that we were going to be a marriage case. We had no idea that we were going to have the only trial since the Perry case went to trial in California. And we didn't have the means to do it. And if it wasn't for these people, just regular people in the community who just cared enough to, you know, work themselves to the bone to see this issue through, we never could have done this without you. And if everyone could just give a big round of applause to National Marriage Challenge and for our board, for our fundraising team, for all the people who have put all of this together. Just absolutely amazing people. Thank you to all of you. I do want to be a little bit more specific and just thank our witnesses at trial, many of whom, by the way, testified and worked with us on a pro bono basis. Just incredible people: Gary Gates, Vivek Sankaran, David Brzezinski, Nancy Cott, George Chauncey, Michael Rosenfeld. We really can't count Lisa Brown as one of our witnesses, but and she was a defendant on her case, but we saw her
best defendant ever.
Best defendant ever. It was the best cross-examination ever, I will say, and the easiest. So she's actually wonderful. Thank you to all of them. For me personally, I just want to thank some of our experts and consultants. Kathy Nelson from Hands Across the Water Adoption Agency, Attorney Jayne Bassett, Jean Howard. Jayne, if you're here, thank you so much. Jean Howard, who was our adoption expert pro bono throughout the course of the case. Thank you, Jean. And to some of our Prop 8 attorneys that assisted us. And for me, it was Terry Stewart and Ron Flynn. If you're listening anywhere, thanks, guys. So I want to thank the media. I want to thank all of you who are here, who followed this case for a very long time, and who came into April and Jayne's living room, and really not so much because of your insane liberal biases, but I think more so than that, because many people who go into journalism, I believe, do so because they want to expose injustice. And that's really what we had in this case. We had a terrible injustice that was occurring. And, you know, through all of you with your cameras and your microphones, you know, really we're able to show the world that April and Jayne are just like every other family, and that they deserve all the same rights and protections as every other family in the world, and that it was wrong to discriminate against them. And I think it was so important that that occurred. At the risk of certain people never being employable again, I want to thank Mandy Wright from the Detroit Free Press and Amy Lang from Fox 2 News, who covered this case extensively from the beginning, and I think a great personal sacrifice to themselves. So thank you to Mandy and Amy for that. I'm sorry if it means you can't get a job now. I want to just personally, I want to thank my family. Specifically, my sons, Alex and Zach, who made the sacrifice of many times not having any parent at all so that I could help fight for other kids to have two parents. And for being dragged all over the state of Michigan and even to Washington, D.C., wearing the worst T-shirts ever that I made them wear, matching T-shirts for twins. It's I don't know, they'll be in probably therapy for many years for that, but I thank you, even though they're at camp now and they can't hear this. I love you if you can hear me wherever you are. Thank my brother, Ari Nessel, who did everything he could to try to contribute to this case so that we could file it, and did everything he could financially to try to assist us in this, and my parents as well, who supported us. And for me, my last thing I'll say, I want to thank my beautiful fiance, Alana McGuire, who, and I just have to say, I know everybody has a great story about how they met their spouse, but meeting your future same-sex spouse during your fight for same-sex marriage is kind of the most awesome story ever. So, anyway, thank you, Alana. I love you. And thank you to all of you guys for being here today, and everybody who supported us throughout the course of this case. We could not possibly be more grateful. So thank you to everyone. And now if anybody has any questions.
They got one. All right. They're
Good.
speechless.
No questions, anybody?
Basic.
No?
They want to know when you're getting married. Or you're ignoring that question.
Let's see. When are we getting married? It's a hard question to answer because we have to find a venue big enough to fit all of you guys in. So suggestions are welcome. Anybody want to plan a wedding? Raise your hand.
Got a planner?
Yeah. Cake. All right.
We're started.
This is not that it came to a shock, but this is we're still kind of settling in through this, and I would venture to say that there will be a wedding before the end of the summer, but don't quote me on that.
I just want to make one.
One more from Bob.
I just want to make one. It's not a discordant note, and nothing should take away from our
Right in here.
nothing should take away from our happiness today. But we all know that it is only a step in the struggle for full LGBT equality. Just as the Brown decision was the catalyst for the civil rights movement of the 1960s, I strongly hope and predict that today's decision will be the catalyst for a sweeping movement for LGBT equality in all respects. And that said, let us celebrate this historic moment with April and Jayne, who are the face of marriage equality in this nation.
Okay, let's carefully get off of here.
Thank you.
We're going to start drinking pretty quickly after 5:30, though.
Well, it's sick to have them for a talk. But Friedman's going to be so they wanted them in studio. But I'm like, I think they're out here for the day and the night. Yeah, we are. Yes. Yeah. That's amazing. Okay, so but good committee members.